Let me ask you something. Are you living your life or are you living someone else's? Too many people wake up every morning, grab their phone, and the first thing they do, scroll. They check what others are doing, who's winning, who's losing, who's living their best life. And before they even get out of bed, their focus is already hijacked by the world outside of them. But listen, your biggest competition isn't out there. It's not the person with the fancy car, the six-figure income, or the perfect Instagram life. No. Your biggest competition is you, the version of you from yesterday, the excuses you make, the distractions you allow. That's the real challenge. See, the secret to success, it's focus. Because where focus goes, energy flows. And if your focus is on what others are doing, you're draining the energy you could be using to build your own empire. You need to take control right now. That means mastering your mindset, your thoughts, your habits, your routines. They define your future. If you want to win in life, start by winning in your mind. That's where transformation begins. Eliminate the distractions. Stop obsessing over someone else's timeline. Social media, gossip, opinions. They don't pay your bills. They don't shape your future. You do. So cut the noise and build an environment that fuels your growth. And let's talk about validation. So many people chase approval, likes, followers, compliments. But real success, it's not about being liked. It's about being respected by yourself first. That respect comes from discipline, consistency, and committing to personal growth, not external approval. Here's the truth. The only thing that separates the great from the average is daily action. The world's best didn't get there by watching others. They got there by showing up every single day and putting in the work. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be better than yesterday. So from this moment forward, make a decision to shift your focus, a decision to invest in you. Because when you stop watching others and start working on yourself, that's when real success begins. Your life is yours. Own it, work for it, and make it happen. Your biggest competition is not the person next to you, not the influencer on social media, not the colleague who got the promotion, and definitely not the person who seems to have everything figured out. Your only real competition is the person staring back at you in the mirror. And until you realize that, you will always feel like you're falling behind. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself looking at someone else's success and feeling like you're not doing enough? You see someone running faster, earning more, living what appears to be a better life, and suddenly your own progress doesn't feel like it's enough. But here's the truth. Comparing yourself to others is the fastest way to drain your energy and kill your momentum. Because the second you focus on them, you stop focusing on you. If you're always watching someone else's journey, when are you walking your own? Every single person is running a different race, and the moment you start measuring yourself against them, you set yourself up for frustration. Why? Because you don't know their full story. You don't know what sacrifices they made, what struggles they endured, or how long they've been working behind the scenes to get where they are. You see the highlight reel, not the hard work. And if you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you will always feel like you're losing. The only standard you need to measure yourself against is who you were yesterday. That's it. Were you a little bit stronger? Did you make a better decision? Did you learn something new? That's where real growth happens. You have to shift your mindset from competition to self-mastery. The goal is not to be better than someone else. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday. Every single day you have an opportunity to grow, improve, and take a step forward. But if your eyes are locked on someone else's path, you'll miss your own. And let's talk about excuses, because they will keep you trapped in the same place forever. The moment you justify your lack of progress by saying, well, they have more resources, or they had a head start, you're giving away your power. Your journey is yours. Your progress is in your hands. And if you want to level up, you have to take responsibility for it. Here's a challenge for you. Starting today, focus 100% on yourself. For the next week, don't check what others are doing. Don't compare. Don't waste a second wondering if you're ahead or behind. Instead, put all that energy into becoming a better version of yourself. Wake up and ask yourself, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? It could be something small, reading for 10 minutes, exercising, making a better decision, pushing yourself just a little hard. That's the game. That's how you win, because at the end of the day, the only person you need to be better than is you. Your biggest competition isn't out there, it's within you. And the moment you embrace that, you become unstoppable. Energy is one of the most valuable resources you have. It's what fuels your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your results. But here's the catch. Your energy follows your focus. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you spend your time and mental space focusing on what others are doing, comparing their progress to yours, or worrying about their opinions, you're pouring your energy into things that don't serve you. Imagine your mind as a flashlight. If you shine it on your own goals, your own growth, and your own journey, everything becomes clear. You see the steps you need to take. You have the power to move forward. But the second you start shifting that light towards someone else's path, watching their success, analyzing their moves, wondering how they got ahead, you dim your own visibility. You lose track of your own direction. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're doing it because it feels natural to compare. Now, let's break this down even further. Think about how much time is wasted every single day on distractions that don't contribute to personal growth. Scrolling through social media, gossiping about others, overanalyzing what someone else is doing. It's all energy being drained into the wrong places. And energy isn't infinite. When you give too much of it away to things outside your control, you end up exhausted, frustrated, and stuck in the same place. Instead of fueling your mind with external distractions, redirect that energy inward. If you focus on developing new skills, strengthening your mindset, and taking action toward your own goals, your results will skyrocket. Because here's the thing, success isn't about watching others succeed, it's about creating your own success. Think about the most successful people in any field. They don't waste time obsessing over their competition. They are too busy perfecting their craft, improving their strategy, and pushing themselves further every day. They understand that their success isn't dependent on what others are doing, it's dependent on how well they execute their own plan. And that's exactly how you need to approach your life. If you want to see real growth, you need to become laser focused on your own progress. When you stop worrying about what others are doing and start directing all of your energy toward your own development, everything changes. Your productivity increases, your confidence grows, your results improve. Here's a practical way to make this shift. Every time you catch yourself paying too much attention to someone else's journey, ask yourself, how can I use this energy to improve my own path? Instead of getting caught in comparison, take that moment as a reminder to refocus. Maybe it means putting your phone down and working on your goals. Maybe it means learning something new instead of wasting time analyzing someone else's success. Whatever it is, take control of your focus. The key is to build a habit of self-awareness, recognize where your energy is going, and actively choose to redirect it. This one change can make the difference between staying stuck and making massive progress. Because at the end of the day, your energy is either being invested in your future or wasted on things that don't move you forward. The choice is yours. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. The way you think shapes your actions, and your actions determine your results. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your mind. Most people don't realize this, but success isn't about talent, luck, or circumstances. It's about the way you train your mind to operate. The problem is, many people live with a mindset that limits them. They focus on obstacles instead of opportunities, problems instead of solutions, and excuses instead of actions. They let fear, doubt, and comparison hold them back because they haven't learned to take control of their thoughts. But here's the truth. If you don't master your mindset will master you. Every day you have a choice. You can choose to let external factors, other people's opinions, past failures, temporary setbacks, control your thoughts, or you can choose to take full responsibility for how you think. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They see challenges as lessons, setbacks as stepping stones, and obstacles as opportunities for growth. They have trained their minds to focus on progress, not perfection. So how do you start mastering your mindset? It begins with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts you allow into your mind. Are they empowering or limiting? Do they push you forward or hold you back? Every negative thought you entertain drains your energy and weakens your confidence. But when you replace those thoughts with empowering beliefs, when you tell yourself, I can learn, I can improve, I can figure this out, you shift your entire perspective. Another key element of mastering your mindset is self-discipline. Your mind will always try to take the easy route. It will tell you to procrastinate, to quit when things get hard, to settle for less than you deserve. That's where discipline comes in. You have to train your mind like a muscle, pushing it to stay focused, to stay committed, to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it. One of the most powerful ways to rewire your mindset is through daily habits. The things you do consistently shape the way you think. If you start your day with negativity, checking social media, reading bad news, dwelling on problems, your mind will be conditioned to focus on negativity. But if you start your day with intention, reading something inspiring, setting clear goals, practicing gratitude, you program your mind for success. Your environment also plays a major role in shaping your mindset. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better, who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to aim higher. Cut out the negativity, the people who constantly complain, the distractions that pull you away from your goals, the influences that make you doubt yourself. Your mindset is like a garden. If you plant the right seeds and remove the weeds, it will flourish. And perhaps the most important part of mastering your mindset is understanding that growth is a lifelong process. There is no final destination where you have it all figured out. Every day is an opportunity to learn, to improve, to evolve. The moment you stop growing, you start declining. That's why the people who achieve the most in life are the ones who never stop learning. They read, they ask questions, they seek new challenges, and they constantly push themselves beyond their comfort zones. The truth is, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. If you let it be controlled by fear, doubt, and distractions, it will hold you back. But if you take control, if you train it to focus on growth, action, and resilience, there is nothing you cannot achieve. The power is in your hands. You just have to use it. Distractions are everywhere. They are the silent killers of progress, the things that keep you stuck in the same place while making you believe you're busy. In today's world, it's easier than ever to lose focus. Your phone is constantly buzzing, social media is pulling you in, and other people's opinions are flooding your mind. And the worst part, most people don't even realize how much these distractions are costing them. Every time you allow distractions to take control, you're stealing time and energy away from your own growth. Imagine you have a goal. Maybe you want to build a business, improve your skills, get in shape, or develop a better mindset. Every moment you spend scrolling through social media, gossiping about others, or worrying about things outside your control is a moment you're not working toward that goal. The truth is, distractions are designed to keep you comfortable. They give you an escape from doing the hard work. But comfort is the enemy of progress. If you want to grow, if you want to elevate your life, you need to start eliminating the things that are pulling you away from your vision. Start by becoming aware of what's distracting you the most. Is it social media? Is it the people around you? Is it negative self-talk? Once you identify these distractions, you can begin taking control. One of the most effective ways to eliminate distractions is by setting clear priorities. If you don't have a clear plan for your day, the world will make one for you. That's why so many people feel like they're constantly busy but never making progress, because they're letting distractions dictate their time instead of taking charge. A powerful way to regain control is by setting boundaries. If social media is pulling you away from your goals, put limits on it. If negative people are draining your energy, distance yourself. If your environment is filled with distractions, create a space where you can focus. The more you protect your time and energy, the more you'll be able to channel them into meaningful actions. And let's talk about one of the biggest distractions of all, other people's opinions. Too many people spend their lives trying to impress others, seeking approval and worrying about what people think. But here's a reality check. No matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. If you let their opinions dictate your actions, you'll never truly live life on your terms. The moment you stop worrying about being liked and start focusing on being respected by yourself first, that's when you take back your power. Distractions also come in the form of excuses. I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. These are just mental roadblocks that keep you from taking action. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. There will always be challenges, always be obstacles, always be reasons to put things off. But if you keep waiting, you'll wake up one day and realize you've wasted years on distractions instead of building the life you wanted. The best way to eliminate distractions is to replace them with focus. Instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, start your day with intention. Instead of spending hours watching other people live their lives, spend that time building your own. Instead of making excuses, take action, even if it's just one small step. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about talent or luck. It's about focus, it's about discipline, it's about deciding what matters most and cutting out everything that doesn't. When you eliminate the distractions, you create space for real growth. And that's when everything starts to change. One of the biggest traps people fall into is seeking approval from others. It's natural. We all want to be liked, to be recognized, to feel like we matter. But the problem is when this need for validation starts controlling your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your life. When you focus on what others think, you stop focusing on what truly matters. Your own growth, your own goals, and your own success. The reality is, no matter what you do, there will always be someone who disapproves, someone who doubts you, and someone who criticizes you. If you shape your life around trying to please others, you'll never be free. You'll always be adjusting yourself to fit someone else's expectations instead of stepping fully into who you were meant to be. And the worst part, the people you're trying to impress aren't the ones living your life. You are. Think about it. How many times have you held yourself back because you were afraid of what people might say? How many times have you played small because you didn't want to stand out? How many dreams have you put on hold because you were waiting for permission, waiting for someone to tell you it was okay? If you keep living for approval, you will never reach your full potential. The most successful people in the world are the ones who don't need external validation. They commit to their goals, their vision, and their growth, not because someone else approves, but because they believe in themselves. They understand that true success isn't about being liked, it's about being respected. And the first person you need respect from is yourself. Respect comes from discipline. It comes from doing the hard things when no one is watching. It comes from making decisions based on what's right for you, not what's popular or easy. It comes from trusting yourself even when others doubt you. And most importantly, it comes from committing to growth day after day, regardless of who's paying attention. So how do you shift your mindset from seeking approval to seeking growth? It starts with getting clear on your purpose. What do you truly want? What excites you? What challenges you? What makes you come alive? The more clarity you have about your own goals, the less you'll care about what others think. Because when you're fully invested in your own journey, outside opinions become irrelevant. You also have to learn to be comfortable with discomfort. Growth isn't always easy. It requires making tough choices, stepping outside your comfort zone, and sometimes going against the crowd. But if you always take the easy path, you'll never get where you want to go. Another key is surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to be better. If you're constantly around people who judge, criticize, or hold you back, it's going to be hard to break free from the need for approval. But when you're around people who push you, who encourage you, who are focused on their own growth, you'll start to shift your mindset. You'll start to realize that the only validation that matters is the one that comes from within. At the end of the day, the choice is simple. You can live for approval, or you can live for progress. You can focus on being liked, or you can focus on being great. But you can't do both. So let this be the moment you decide. Decide that your growth is more important than their opinions. Decide that your future is more valuable than temporary validation. Decide that you are done waiting for permission and that from now on, you will commit to becoming the best version of yourself no matter who approves or not. Success is not about one big breakthrough. It's not about luck, talent, or waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's about what you do every single day. It's built on consistency, on small, daily actions that compound over time to create extraordinary results. But the problem is, most people don't realize this. They think success is about massive leaps, about sudden moments of greatness. But in reality, it's the small, often boring, daily habits that make the biggest difference. Think about it. Every great athlete, entrepreneur, or leader didn't get where they are because of one big moment. They got there because they showed up every day, even when they didn't feel like it. They did the work even when no one was watching. They pushed themselves to improve even when the results weren't immediate. That's what separates the successful from the average. It's not talent. It's discipline. But here's where most people get it wrong. They start something, they're excited, they put in the effort for a few days or weeks, and then they stop. They don't see immediate results, so they quit. They let distractions pull them away, and before they know it, they're right back where they started. And then they wonder why they're stuck, why they're not making progress. It's because they didn't commit to the process. You have to understand that progress is invisible at first. You won't always see the results right away. You might work out for weeks and not see a difference in the mirror. You might study for hours and feel like you're not getting smarter. You might start a business and not see profit for months. But just because the results aren't visible doesn't mean they're not happening. Every action you take is planting a seed. And if you keep watering it, if you keep showing up, eventually it will grow. That's why daily action is everything. It's about momentum. Once you start taking small steps every day, those steps turn into habits, those habits turn into progress, and that progress turns into massive success. But it all starts with making a decision to show up, to take action, to stay consistent, even when it's not easy. And let's be clear, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to get everything right every single day. What matters is that you keep going. If you miss a day, don't let it turn into two. If you make a mistake, learn from it and move forward. Success isn't about never failing, it's about never quitting. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to focus on one small action at a time. If your goal is to get in shape, don't overwhelm yourself with trying to be perfect. Just commit to exercising for 10 minutes a day. If your goal is to improve your mindset, start with 5 minutes of reading or journaling every morning. If your goal is to build a business, commit to doing one thing every day that moves you forward. Small actions, repeated daily, will always outperform big efforts that are inconsistent. At the end of the day, you have two choices. You can either take control of your habits and build the life you want, or you can let distractions, excuses, and inconsistency keep you stuck. There's no in between. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait for motivation or inspiration. They're the ones who show up, who put in the work, who take action every single day. So ask yourself right now, what small step can you take today? What habit can you commit to that, if done daily, will change your life in 6 months or a year? Because that's how success happens. Not overnight, but through consistent daily action.